Welcome back to the show. Surviving sexual abuse as a child is tough enough, but when you have to face your accuser, it's even more difficult. Today, we are talking to one young lady who summoned the courage against insurmountable odds. Joining me now, Brianne Hill and her father, Russ. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
This is not easy for me, and I'm sure very difficult for you all. What a courageous girl you are. Tell me your story.
It happened 2 years ago. It was the beginning of spring break. My family and I were going up to Michigan to visit my grandparents because we don't get to see them very often. When we arrived there, we thought everything was going to be pretty good because we were so excited. And the first night that we were there, I was sexually abused by my grandfather, but on Sunday morning I had thought it was a dream. And then when it happened again, the Monday night, I knew it was real because I don't have the same dreams happen twice.
Was this while you were sleeping
Yes.
at night?
I'm a very light sleeper, so when I heard moving around, I woke up, though I didn't really open my eyes. On the following morning, I told my mother what had happened, and we went to my parents' bedroom to maybe figure out what had happened and to see if it had actually happened.
And so who was the one here that then questioned or confronted your grandfather?
My father, he went to go figure out who had done it, and he went to my grandfather, and my grandfather confessed.
So, Russ, this is your father?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. So how difficult is that for you? This is your daughter. This is your father. How did this happen? I'm sure you're thinking, this couldn't have happened.
I mean, there was just a lot of anger. There was a lot of confusion. There was a lot of hurt and a lot of betrayal. Even shame came into that. You know, that how did this happen to us, to our family? How did, I kept asking myself the question, what did I miss? How does something like this happen just right under your nose, and you don't realize it until your daughter has to come and tell you that something happened to her? At that point I had, no clue what was going on, but I just, I had to find out.
So your father confessed, just right there on the spot?
It was pretty much like that. I think, he knew he was kind of cornered. He knew that, that he was caught because there wasn't really anyone else there at the house who could have done anything. And I was extremely just shocked and just, it was just disbelief. I couldn't believe that, what I was hearing.
Were you ever abused as a child?
Unfortunately, I was. And I'm also a survivor, too.
By your father?
No, actually, I was sexually assaulted at the age of 6 by 2 teenage boys in our neighborhood.
Oh, my goodness.
And this went, it actually ended up being a repressed memory until I was actually in my 30s and I was able to deal with it. And who those boys were and where they are now, I have no idea.
So where's your father now?
My father is in Michigan. Now, we did prosecute him. We did go after him. And he's actually currently, he's on probation. He's now registered as a lifetime sex offender. And so what we did was we wanted to, they actually gave us the option, do we want to see him rot in jail for the rest of his life? But considering his age and, his health problems, we just didn't want to see that happen. But we did want to make sure that, he was brought to justice. That way, he didn't have the opportunity to do this to anyone else again.
So, Brianne, how do you feel now towards your grandfather? I mean, have you spoken with him? Have you guys visited or anything since then?
I think one of the rules or laws that the court or that the judge gave to my grandfather was that we're not allowed to see him for 5 years. So up until I'm 15, I can make the choice if I want to see him, but there's been no communication with him. My father has been calling my grandmother to see how she's been doing with all this. Other than that, I'm not even speaking to my grandmother, and I don't trust my grandfather anymore. I've chosen to forgive him, but it still pains me whenever I hear the word grandfather about him, or if I see anything about him. And we used to call him by name Papa Kikyo, but I feel like he's lost that title.
Has he ever apologized?
He did apologize, but I think it was just out of, he didn't want us to press charges, but we did eventually press charges.
Well, I want to ask you about your shirt, and you can tell me what this shirt says. Tell our viewers what it says and what it's all about.
It says, "I found my voice and you can too." My mom got them made when we were doing my first speaking event at a tennis tournament. The shirt, to me, it kind of symbolizes how I found my voice, and I'm helping others find their voice too. So many people have come out to share their story after what has happened to them, and some of them have kept it in for so many years. It happened to them when they were teenagers or kids, and they haven't told it till now. They're adults.
And so how old were you when the incident occurred again?
I was 10 years old.
10. Okay, so you're 12 now, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and for you to be able to talk about something like this on such a big stage, I mean, you're strong. You're stronger than I can even use or say in words here. I mean, to be able to really speak out about this. So what is the message that you really want people to know from all of this? I mean, we've heard your story. We heard what happened. It's so unfortunate. But what do you want to leave everyone with?
To me, your voice is really just the strongest weapon you have. There are times when people will try to silence you. There have been many times where people have tried to silence me, but I haven't let them do that, and I just keep speaking out. And so I just encourage others to just speak out, because the only way you're actually going to get your voice heard is to speak out, tell anyone you can about what has happened to you until someone actually believes you and they can get something done about it.
Brianne, you're a tough girl.
Thank
You
you.
stay strong, okay? And Russ,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is so important, and I really appreciate you all sharing such a personal story with our audience, and there's a lot to learn from this. Thank you,
Thank
okay?
you. We're glad to do it.
Yeah, and when we come back, full details on National Whiteout Sexual Abuse Day and how you can take part. Coming back when we come after this break, Public Affairs on Peeps. Stay with us.